Welcome back to Dial Twang. I'm Dave. So, we're going to have some fun today. We have got you set up to be the single guitarist in a blues trio. Okay, so this backing track is bass, drums, and organ. Okay, there's a little guitar wah lick that's just repetitive. It's more of just a riff. It's not playing the chords. So it's up to us as the only guitarist in this virtual band to fulfill both of those roles, right? Play a little lead, mix the chords in there, keep the rhythm going and stuff. And just a kind of a taste of what it's like to not have that loop that I usually use with everybody, with most of these sessions, where we've got that rhythm guitar in the background the whole time, right? So I was just playing around with it again before I turned this on, and it's just really fun. I tried to doctor up the backing track. I spent a little bit more time on it this time than I do sometimes, just to make sure we had a kind of a good sounding mix on that, right? So it's been some time really working out on this one. So there's different things you could do with the chords. You know, it's in E, so we need we're going to use an E, E7, A, and then the little turnaround is C7 and B7. So I'll show you real quick here. Now, one of the chords that I might suggest would sound really good with this, along with just E, E7, you know, is this E7 sharp 9, okay? If you're familiar with that. Sometimes that's called the Hendrix chord. There's a picture of it right there. It's basically like an E9. That's the 9 when you're playing an E9 like that, okay? But it's raised 1. That's that sharp 9. That's what really gets... The guitar just seems like it was made to want to play that chord, right? So many songs just riff on that, you know. So, want to, you know, mix that in there if you can. So we got 4 measures of that. So here's how this progression goes. 2, 3, 4, then to the A. And you just got one measure of that A, and then right into that C7, B7, then back to... for 2, okay? Now in your outro, I've got a slide playing the whole way through that practice loop that has that progression written on it, okay? So let's turn this on and play along with it, and that'll make more sense. Let me see where we are on it. Still waiting. Now here's going to start over. Right. Do it one more time. Go down. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you one time around with using the same progression, the C7, B7, but doing it down here. Okay, so let's break a little bit of that down. There's that E7, E7 sharp 9. Okay. Like I said, you could also just do an E7 down here or something. You know, or up here. Rhythmically, I'm just kind of shuffling around. You know, just do your thing. That's why this is going to be this is really going to be a good one for you to kind of really playing these chords and really letting yourself go on that is going to kind of drive you into your feeling of blues more, right? Because we work on soloing so much on this channel because it's awesome and it's fun. But, you know, you got to get that rhythm going too, because that's really where you're going to start connecting with your body a lot better. So that's the main idea there with the chords, and just play around with that. Now, here's another thing you can do. When you got the organ going and the bass, and this is kind of a, you know, arranged bass part here, so it'll really carry you. You know, you don't always have to play the chords, right? So let's say you went down to do the C7 to the B7, and you just did something like a part of those bar chords, right? Or even just, okay, play around with little pieces of the whole chord, you know. That plain old E doesn't sound as bluesy, does it? It'll still work, but, you know, that one's going to sound good every time. So here's what I mean. Let's say you're doing some E, you know, you're riffing around. Okay, let me do a couple rounds like that. Bear with me. So I think a good routine for you here would be really work out on those chords. You try, you know, different positions to make the chords. Follow that progression. Then say, hey, you know what? When we get to the little turnaround, I'm gonna see if I can fit in, you know, one of my triad licks or something. And here's the really good news: is the universal glue for this is the minor pentatonic, the blues scale. So that's just going to work on all of it, right? So these other things I'm talking about, they're more precise because they follow the chord that you're on. But also just hang out in that minor pentatonic a lot. So a couple weeks ago, our video called 3-Note Blues Solo. It was also in E. That's gonna go brilliantly with this lesson, because you can use all those riffs and those concepts in this routine. The thing that you're adding here is that you're checking back in with the rhythm as you go, right? Okay, so, you know, I did a couple different positions there, right? If you're not familiar with all those, that's okay, because, you know, you slow it down, park the video. Well, if this is my E blues scale, you you don't always have to put that extra blues note in there, but just your E minor pentatonic, right? Okay. Then, you know, down here, 12th fret, same as the open fret. Okay. You hear this stuff all the time, right? You know. You hear a lot of that going to that open, low E, and then hitting that chord. Right? So now that you can see that, you do you with that, but you're going to come up with some cool stuff because you've been practicing a lot of these pentatonic blues approaches, many of you, and we've done a lot of work on that on this channel. So this is like if you got together with even just a bass and drums, maybe not just another guitarist or a guitar-based practice loop, right? It's fun to be in both of those roles, right? I'm doing the chords. You know, you can almost really practice by yourself, you know. Okay. You got to kind of do your own thing on this one a little bit. But the main things that I'm showing you here are that chord form, and the concept is checking in with the chords, you know, hanging out on that, then throwing in some licks, and then going back to the chords. So you get into a routine that looks sort of like this, sounds like this. Right back at the top. Backing track feels pretty good, if I do say so myself. It's just gotta, you know, you want to keep that drums and bass moving on something like this, so when you let go of that rhythm, it keeps that momentum, right? That's what a good blues band does, a trio. But is that starting to come together better now, right? Do a few licks. If it's tough keeping it up to speed with the backing track, just do your own routine by yourself, right? Okay, so because you're still getting the essence of what we're working on here, right? Which is putting that rhythm and having more of a global view of the song, right? Rather than just like I'm playing the lead or I'm playing the chords, you know. And I think that'll open up some new doors for a lot of you. You've done so much work, I can see in the comments and from talking with many of you, with learning a lot of these scales and getting a lot of this pentatonic stuff down. That's great. So you're ready to kind of put more of the pieces together and be more of a complete player, right? Or start moving in that direction. And that's what this is about. So there's not a whole lot of material as far as, diagrams and stuff for this one. The like I said, the um, progression is spelled out over the practice loop, and there's a couple of there's that diagram of the E7 sharp 9. Okay. Hopefully your other chords you can get figured out. Just the A7 and the C and B7. Okay. So when I say 7 for these bar chords, all I'm doing is just lifting that pinky. And like I said, don't be afraid to just use regular triad stuff too, Yeah. Kind of spell the whole thing out with arpeggios. Okay? Let me know how this goes. This is a fun one. I think you'll like jamming with this loop. So I will talk to you soon and appreciate you as always. Okay? Have fun with this. Bye.